Okay, so welcome to the first forum in November, which is awesome. So smaller group, but that's okay. I like a smaller group because it means we all get to really connect and chat and share. I think that's a really good idea. So we've got such a diverse group here. I love it. I love it. I love the experience we've got. We've got a couple of authors here. We've got a few that are thinking about becoming an author and just at the very, very beginning. And we've got people sort of halfway through. And so it's really cool. This is a good little group. So I'd like to just say welcome to everyone. And I think we'll start. Maybe we'll just do a quick, let's just do a quick zip round because we haven't got a big group. So I think we can all do this, just where we're at. Just hi, just say your name again, just so we all remember who you are and where you're at with your book and why you are here. Why have you decided to join the forum today? So who would like to start?
I can start.
Oh, good on you, Deb.
Deborah.
Yep. I'm a author. I'm writing my fourth book currently. I write murder mysteries set in the world of mental health because I was a mental health nurse for 38 years. So, I'm trying to keep things reasonably topical, and this book is moving along very well. I use a lot of humour in my work because that's how I survived being a mental health nurse for 38 years.
I can imagine. And you also, I know, Deb, you've even though they're murder mysteries, there's messages in there. What are some of the things you're hoping? Obviously, you're trying to entertain people.
Yeah,
what are you trying to teach people?
Educate people about mental health, about the people who have mental health issues. Look at ways that people could calm someone down, for instance, or at least not inflame a situation further. Just basic strategies are woven into my storytelling so that hopefully the general public will feel that they understand mental health issues a bit better and that they can afford to be a bit kinder to people.
Awesome. Beautiful. Love it. Thank you. Thanks, Deb. Anyone who wants to share next?
Sure, I'll go. This is Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Andrew. I'm north of Melbourne, but south of Queensland. So the Queenslanders refer to us as Mexicans, and that's fine.
Yep.
I am an author, and I've just finished a book that is family history related, which will please Karen no end. She knew that I was getting on to that one.
Yes.
And I've just finished editing, and it's going over to someone now to put it in shape as an ebook and print book.
Yep.
And this one is about a famous story in our family, a lot of facts, but also a lot of fiction that I have woven into the story to make it of more interest to those who love genealogical mysteries and what impact those ancestral stories have on us as the descendants of people who are, let's just say, a little shady in their morals.
Right.
That's interesting, and you don't want to let the truth get in the way of a good story, right, Carol?
That's correct. Absolutely, Andrew, and I've done that in this book.
Nice work. I've actually encouraged a few people to do the same thing. There's a lady that just recently published a book. Some of you might remember. Her name's Carol too, Carol Cook. She's a Paralympian, and she's writing a book called From Policewoman to Paralympian, and she was talking about her parents' romance, and I'm reading it going, yeah, do you reckon you could spice that up a little bit? But that's not true. It's like, don't let the truth get in the way of the story. Yeah. People want to hear, we love a romance, right? I think everyone loves a good romance, whether you're a man or a woman. So she sparked that up a bit, and I think, yeah, that's awesome. Good on you, Carol. That's great news, and congratulations. You'll soon have. What number is this one?
That one was number 3, and today I've started number 4.
Well done. There's a woman on a mission and in a zone. So well done. That is brilliant. Good on you. Okay. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Oh, good on you, Marcia.
So I am based in the UK, in Yorkshire, and my background is health industry, but I'm also a coach. And I've started really at the beginning really of my book, and that's all about recovery from narcissistic abuse. And yeah, I'm just at the beginning of it. And I'm here really because to be inspired by you all, actually, and just for the encouragement and the support, really, to get this moving. So that's me in a nutshell.
So the pressure's on. The pressure's on everyone. You've got to inspire, Marcia. That's your goal tonight, or today, this morning, to inspire. But I just want to say, Marcia, about Marcia and I have been working together for a couple of months, and she started writing it, and she sent me the first bit of her book, and it was gripping. Marcia was really, really good. You've really captured the emotion of what must have been pretty terrifying for you. So and hard to write as well. Come on, Justine, pick him up.
Yeah, go on.
That's a dog that knows. He or she?
She.
That's a dog that knows what she wants. That's for sure.
Sorry, Sue. I think Pansy growling set your dog off. So
Yes, you reckon?
Yeah.
He's worse than a toddler.
Yeah. So, Marcia, well done and welcome. And while you've got our attention, you and your pup, tell us a bit about, because you've got great stuff going on at the moment. Tell us.
Yeah. So I've just been made a feature writer in an Australian magazine.
Oh, very good.
Thank you. So it's a quarterly magazine. So submitted my first article, which will be out this week or next week, I think. And I've done some other feature writing as well for another magazine, but the first one's ongoing, so which is good. I'm up to my third co-authored book, so I'm halfway through that chapter at the moment. I'm hoping to have it finished by the end of the week, and then I'll move on to my solo book, won't I, Andrew?
Yes, I've told Justine no more co-authored books. That's it.
Yep.
And I've finished writing and nearly finished illustrating my first children's book, but I've just had my third contract. I'm in negotiations with the third contract on it. So this one's looking a little bit more promising, but they won't put anything forward until I finish the last two illustrations. So that's on the cards for the next couple of weeks to do that. So that's all very exciting. So the other two I knocked back because they wouldn't let me use any form of my artwork in any other publication or prints or cards. And the majority of I'm an artist as well, and the majority of my artwork, it's all the same, and my sculptures and everything, and I wouldn't be able to use them. So I knocked back the other two contracts. This one is open to talking more about it. So that sounds promising. But I submitted to 31 publishers, and out of the 31, I've heard back from 5. So
that's about standard.
Yeah.
That's about what you're going to expect.
But I'm giving myself to the 1st of January, and then if nothing comes forward that I like by then I'll do the self-publishing thing, but I'm giving it a fair whack first.
Yeah, you are. That's for sure. Absolutely. Well done, Justine. You're doing great stuff. All right. Who else have we got here? Who wants to go next?
Okay.
Sorry.
We'll go Karen, and then we'll go Debbie, and then we'll go Sue.
Okay, so I'm also an author. I've published a couple of books, and I'm told, I'm also an editor, but I'm told it's unusual to be both an author and an editor. I have self-published, and I have helped others to self-publish in ebook and print media. And I've just been accepted as a professional member of the Institute of Professional Editors. So I'm furiously working on updating my books so they meet the standard, and my website at the moment. And I have been doing some work with Carol, who's on this call. Hello, Carol.
Hey.
And I have read her book about storifying your ancestors, which has been great because it's sort of fitted in well with my current book that I'm writing about my mother, who until she was 13, grew up in the West Midlands and in the UK. So I'm storifying her memories on that. And I've got a lot to do. So I'm just starting to catch up. I've recently finished full-time work and I'm working part-time, and I've been a bit slack in joining the forums, and I'm trying to get some regularity in my attendance to support Andrew and myself.
Well, you more than me. You're here for you. But thank you. It's always good to have you. It makes me feel
Thank
good.
you.
Here. So thank you. Good to
Thanks.
be. And well done, Karen. I mean, she's done amazing. What an amazing lady she is. She's written some great books, and she's helped so many people. She's actually helped me with the proofreading and editing for Tears of Joy, which I was hoping I was going to have a copy in my hand to show you today, but I don't.
Well, we can see the picture behind you.
Yeah, but I want to hold it in my hand.
I know.
Tell you what, guys, let me tell you, for the authors here, the feeling of that book arriving and holding it in your hands and smelling it and looking at it and flicking through the page. How's that feeling? Carol, how's that feeling for you?
Yes, it's amazing. It has a particular appeal to me, and that's why I'm looking forward to next year when my fantasy fiction book will be arriving in print form. You can't actually smell an ebook, although I haven't actually tried. So,
well, you could, but I don't think you get the same emotional response to your actual. Karen, what was it like when you picked up your first book?
Pretty good. Very exciting.
Yeah. And what about you, Deb? You're on mute, Deb.
A close friend licked her finger and went and turned the page in my book, and I nearly vomited all over her. So it's still my baby. It very much was my baby, but anyone who didn't treat it with respect to this day are likely to get quite a violent reaction.
So it's like your baby, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It is, and it is, because it's, I mean, you think about it. I mean, Deb, you've been, we'll introduce you now, but you've been writing this book for how many years? When did you start? And it's okay.
10 years.
All right. So can you imagine, I want you to think about this, Deb, 10 years to this point, and when you finally have finished and you're holding, can you imagine the emotion around that? You know,
yeah, I think it'll be amazing.
It will be, and that's, I want you all, if you're not quite there yet, I want you to really start to visualize this feeling, because you're putting your heart and soul into this. You know, you're not just writing a book. It's not a book. It's your life. It's your blood, sweat. It's your suffering. It's your overcoming. It's your heart to help people. That's what is in that book. And I think yeah, it's a book. No way. I'm thinking about, I guarantee you, when this book arrives, I will bawl like a baby. And I'll tell you why. Because this is not just a book that took however many hours to write. This is a lifetime of stuffing up, of learning, of mistakes, of overcoming, of trying and failing and trying again. That's what it is. That's the end result. That's what Tears of Joy are, right? Like when you're not going to cry tears of joy when someone gives you a box of chocolates. Like, you might be happy about it, but or you're not going to cry tears of joy when I talk about it in the book. When I got my first job, I didn't cry. There was tears, but I think it was because I had a job, not because I wasn't tears of joy. There are some things that are so meaningful that you put so much into, that when you finally have that achievement, there's this incredible emotional response and release, and that's what it is for this. And I want you to really feel that what you're doing is valuable. What you're doing is incredible. What you're doing, no matter where you are on the journey, is going to change lives. Yours first and foremost, and then it will change the lives of the people who read that book as well. Sorry, Deb, I hijacked your
No.
Debbie, tell us a bit about where you're at the moment.
I'm plodding along.
Yay.
Okay.
So
it
works.
Started with the 63 day, and I think I got about 4 days in, right? And then I miss one. So then I'm beating myself up about it. So I decided to not use the tick box that I was doing, so that I wasn't so hard on myself about it. I'm definitely moving along. Karen gave me some good advice, and that really helped. And then I got in contact with Patrick Benoit. Yep. And been chatting to him about book covers and stuff, because I'm trying to visualize and move things so that I can actually see it come together.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm definitely getting there. I am at this point where, like I was saying to you last time about things that should I put in or shouldn't put in. So I've started writing about those things, which is a bit hard. So doing that, but then, yeah, I'll go back and decide whether to leave that in or not.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I'm positive.
Awesome. Good on you.
Thank you.
And you know what? Like, Sue's we're going to get Sue to chat now, because Sue knows what it's like to start the 63 days and then miss a day. So, and look, it's whatever works for you, Dad. It's whatever works, you know. I mean, the tick box works for a lot of people. It doesn't work for everyone. So Sue, thank you for sharing. So tell us where you're at, because you're doing well. You're in a bit of a zone at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, it's been very interesting. I think it's just fascinating speaking to you all. So thank you very much for being here. Because I really get what you're saying, Andrew. I can't imagine. Can I imagine? Yes, I can kind of imagine from other things I've done, that feeling of that book. And it makes me get really quite emotional even now, you know. So what am I? I'm a doctor, background in medicine, 30 plus years. The numbers getting larger each year. But I've kind of segued into more behavioural stuff, lifestyle medicine, and I've become a coach in the last 10 years. And got fascinated really with behavioural change with people, which I've always been relatively, you know, I suppose attracted to within my practice. I've had my own journey going up and down. I've got family. I'm a mother of 3 girls who are now kind of going into the world, and they've had their own traumas and stuff going on. So, yeah, so when Andrew made contact with me, it was a little bit of a, it was a timing thing. I don't think I was really ready, but I also had done loads and loads of personal development, like heaps. And so I knew I never would be ready. It was like already kind of like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm but very, very fond of Melbourne, lived there in part of my life. And it was just like, yeah, come on, let's just look at this. And I jumped. So I've definitely jumped I feel I've jumped in the deep end, but yeah, so the book I'm writing is all about the power of change, and how that can lead to where we are, and how much influence we can have over change, both external and internal, how incredible that can be. So using part of my stories, part of other people's stories, using my learnings, and it's complex and my brain kind of goes off all over the place. So my biggest challenge is keeping that focused. And for me, the tick box has been really useful, because I'm feeling, and it's great to get the feedback, that even 2 words is it okay, because it's like, for me, it kind of keeps that chain going. And some days I just think, what the hell, what's the point of this? I'll put those 2 words down. And then other days I get a moment of clarity. And then other days thinking, look, you know, it's going to have to go through, and listening to Andrew, listen to you guys, it's going to have to go through many, many hoops anyway. It's going to have to go through the whole process over and over again. It's like, you know, I don't know, is that you, Andrew? It's a bit like the marble of David, where David's in the middle and you're kind of chipping away. And that's my metaphor. Just keep just knocking a bit more marble off each day, and it's fine. And So yeah, it's just fantastic just being in a room of people that are authors, you know, just hugely and hugely kind of inspired. I feel a bit of a, you know, a newbie in the room, kind of coming in, kind of networking with you all, but because my world is not writing, authoring, any of those kind of things. Yeah, I've read loads and loads and loads of books, so I look at all the different types of things that gives me inspiration. So inspiration is very much part of what I hope to give. So yeah, so that's me. I'm on day 42 of my second 63, having gone to 21 last time and then missing 22. I needed it. I am terrible at pushing things to the last minute, and I have set a new rule for myself that I don't try and get away with it, because that's just feeding a bad habit. So I didn't let myself. So I started all over again at number 1. And then I'm thinking, well, actually it's 21 plus 42. And at the end of the day, it doesn't, you know, it's more about the chain that matters. So for me, it works. So, and I think it's Cat, isn't it? You know, actually getting it integrated into my family is one of the biggest things, to kind of get recognised within my family that I'm doing something that matters and therefore needs that space. That's part of it, because I can so easily get derailed. So yeah, that's now becoming part of our conversation each day. Yeah. Have you done the book? Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, well, that is that's awesome for me.
That's awesome, Sue. I mean, there's so much in what you've just said there. I think the fact, number one, that you've got your family involved, I think that's a great idea, you know, and get their support and get them on your case. But I think it's important to acknowledge a couple of things, Sue, because I know, you know, it has been, you know, you did dive in the deep end, and I know you splashed around for quite a while, right? But I think, is there anyone, when they started to write the book, that didn't feel like they were out of control? Like, you know, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, that's all of us. You know, everyone starts like that. You don't, everyone that is now an expert or has achieved something was once a beginner. I mean, we were all at that point where we thought, guarantee, Sue, and we'll get a show of hands if you thought, what am I doing? I'm wasting my time. Anyone think that? Okay. Number 2, anyone feel like this is terrible? Oh, what am I trying to do? I can't write a book. What are you talking about? Like, we've all felt that. And they've all had times when we go, okay, the days we go, okay, this is actually, yeah, this sounds all right. We've had days like that too. But I think what you've done is you've got to that point where you've said, I'm just going to commit to this, comfortable or uncomfortable, and it will get comfortable, guarantee, promise you, and you'll get better. You will. That's life. That's everything. I'm not talking about writing a book here. I mean, first time you tried to ride your bike, you scraped your knee. We're about to meet, and like he'll tell you about some of his mishaps. I mean, this is a mountain climber, he's a bike rider, he's a bushwalker, he's a rower, he's a dog sledder. You know, the first time you do some of that stuff, you know, it's, what am I doing? But you just get good at it if you stick at it one day at a time, a little bit at a time. And that's the power of that. Just touch it every day, even if it's only 2 words. 2 words is forward motion. No words is staying still. Yeah. Forward motion is really the only thing that matters. So, Karen, do you want to say something? Because I want to let, yeah.
Yes, I do. I just wanted to say it's not just about writing words. It's about, you know, if you can do some research as well, even if you spend 10 minutes doing a bit of research, it all counts. It's doing something. And that's what I think Andrew's trying to say. Just do something every day.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Karen. Now, young man, we have we've got we needed a little bit of testosterone in the room because there's too much women power. Women, I don't know what it is about girls, and this is a massive compliment. I mean, I've run workshops and speaking things around writing books and health and well-being and mindset, and there's always 80% women in the room. So I don't know, man, what is wrong? I don't know what's wrong with most men. They think, oh, no, I know it all. Most men are clueless. But this man is not clueless, so yeah, good to see you, mate.
Thank you. Well, I'm writing my first book. I used to write lots of articles and things for magazines and short pieces and presentations, but the reason I'm writing the book is because I ran out of excuses not to write it. I had quite a few people urge me, Andrew probably is a big part of it, to put together some stories. Some of them are based on fact, and some of them are almost based on fact. And it's not quite that they're not true, but they're based really on kind of, reflections and contemplations about things. So things occur to you that, you may or may not be able to prove or write as fact, but they're still very real, and it's not just imaginative. It is actually something that happened, and that's how you reflect on it. So I've basically laid out the structure of the book the way I want it to happen, and started to write. I'm comfortable writing, long sessions. So I don't know that I write every day, but I write, quite often, and I write lots of words. And I think, within all that, some of it will be good. And I'm not afraid to throw things away.
Well, mate, we all know that the first draft is bad. It's got to, you just expect your first draft will be terrible, right, and then you won't be disappointed. Okay. And also, you build this, you create it. It's like Sue used the analogy of the statue of David, and that's such a good analogy. I mean, Michelangelo started with this massive lump of cement, and somehow he carved this incredible statue, and it was a mess for most of it, right? Until he finally polished it. That's what your book is. It's a mess. It's okay for it to be a mess. And you've got to be, and there are perfectionists here. Where are the perfectionists that want to get things right first time? It just doesn't work that way. Well, get over that, all of you. See, the good thing about me is I'm not a perfectionist. I'm messy all the way through, and I'm one of those people, just take action and clean up the mess later. And this is one of those moments where you've just got to write it and know that you can't. Bless you, Debbie. You can't. Oh no, I can't hear you. I just saw you sneeze. I've now lost my train of thought. What was I saying? I can't remember. We were talking about perfectionism, weren't we? You can never get it right first time, and that's everything. I mean, for the perfectionist, when have you ever got something right the first time, like spot on first time?
Never.
And it will never happen, because that's not the way the world is. That's the way it is. You try something, it's bad, you learn, you improve, you get up, you go again. You stuff it up a little less badly this time, and you learn, okay, well, it's better, it's not great, and you learn and you tidy and you keep going, and that's everything. So that's the good news. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be a writer. I'm not a writer, I'm an author. I don't consider myself a writer. I consider myself a communicator, and a book is one way to communicate. And so that's great. So thank you, everyone. I think everyone has shared, so we know where everyone's at, which is great. And the fact that you're here, you're so welcome to be here. And I just want to encourage you. These forums are so important. There's something that, and I've always known community is important, but more and more recently, but I think particularly with COVID, because I started these forums right at the start of COVID. So that's when I started them, because I thought, okay, I think people are going to need support. And what I didn't know that I'd still be doing these. Like, I thought I'll do it for a few months. I thought COVID was going to be over in a couple of months. Who thought that? Oh, yeah, we'll be over this. But what I've found is that people get a lot out of these forums, right? And probably more, the person that gets the most is me. Community. There's something about feeling like you're part of something. You're a valuable part of a community. You're all welcome. In fact, I'm a little bit disappointed there's only 9 of us here today. Well, I'm not going to cry over it, that's for sure. But I wish there was 20, 30, 40 people, and I wish more people really understood the power of community and being around people that will support you and love you no matter where you're at, no matter whether it's 10 years, Debbie, to where you're at now, or whether you've written the book in 1 year. It doesn't matter. being on the journey is the most important thing, and staying on the journey until you hold it in your hands is the most important thing. So I'm going to shut up for a little bit. Is there anyone that wants to share breakthroughs, ideas, thoughts, problems, challenges that they want help with? And this is why a community is so beautiful, because we've got so much experience here. Anyone got anything that? Yep, Deb, let's start with you.
Yep. I just wanted to say how good the 63 thing is for me, because it is keeping me on task, and, you know, I'm communicating with Sue and Kat and you, and that's giving me the feeling that, you know, okay, I can keep doing this. So I've stopped saying, I've only got 20 minutes, I can't write anything, I'll just do nothing, or I've only got half an hour, and I'm now actually using those pockets of times very productively and getting a lot more done, because, you know, in the past, if I had 2 medical appointments in one day, that was it. The day was well and truly blown. But now I can do some work and then head out to be tortured by the people again.
And Deb, tell us what day you're up to on your 63-day journey at the moment.
I'd have to guess that
you're in the 40s, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I'm less than might be 46 or 7.
Yeah, and you put, so Deb likes to post in the 52 was.
Oh, there you go.
But I love you've put a couple of really cool comments. So on day 51, you said, I can feel the shift in my thinking.
Yep.
You said, I know there's been
I'm very witty, Andrew. So.
And then you said on day 49, you said, I will be doing this forever, right?
Yep.
So can you see what's going on here? Every day that Deb writes, she's strengthening this neural pathway in her brain. She's strengthening this habit. She's turning this into something that she said it on day 49. This is something I will do forever. That's the power of, and I know, everyone's different strategy. You'd rather write for a few hours more, not every day. That's okay. Everyone does it differently, but there's something powerful about this daily habit. Now, the other thing, Deb, tell us, you've got some health issues. What are your health issues? Do you mind sharing?
Oh, no, I don't mind sharing. I've got lung disease. I've got about 50% lung capacity. And I've got insulin-dependent diabetes and rheumatoid arthritis. So I've got plenty to do.
Apart from that, you're okay, though.
Yeah.
But, and I love that. And Justine's the same. Justine is an incredibly inspiring lady. She's got, or has had, any medical condition you can think of, Justine's had it. Just about. And
I'll have to make a list and see.
You look at both Deb and I look at Justine, and to me, that's where the inspiration is, because these are people that have got every reason to go, well, I couldn't write today because I wasn't feeling well, or, you've got every excuse and justifiable.
We did that. We'd never get anything written.
Yeah.
I know. But what I'm saying, this is what I'm saying.
You feel well.
This is what I'm saying. You two are exceptional. Most people that have got even a fraction of the things you're dealing with would make excuses, and you don't. And that's why, again, this is what I want everyone to see. Marcia, you wanted to come here to be inspired. There's inspiration right there in front of you. These are ladies that have got every reason to go, here's Deb's about to publish her 4th book. And Justine's got 75 books on the go, and she's a public speaker. And I go, oh my gosh. Sometimes I have a little bit of a pity party, and I think about people like these two, and I slap myself and say, get up and get over it, mate, and get on with it, because you've got no problems at all. So I just wanted to say that, because I think that's the power of community again. So
Yep.
Andrew, I so agree with that, because one of the reasons I came to your first forum was because of Annie Pateman. Yes. And there's a lady with strength, and her book, The Strength Within, of course, was an inspiration for many. But it's listening to people who have gone through some challenges and real struggles and then come out the other side stronger than they were when they began. That's what inspires.
Yeah.
I don't have any health issues, touch wood. Everything's okay at the moment. And this year has been a body maintenance year, so I'm putting in the hard yards now so that I can keep going with my writing for another decade or so. But inspiration, this is why you come here.
For sure. And look, Kelly, you may not have had health issues, but you've had challenges, right? We all have. That's life. And you've overcome stuff that you'll probably play down, go, yeah, it's not a big deal. But really, for some people, it's a very big deal. So you're inspiring too. You know, I just want you to know you're an inspiration as well. So, in fact, everyone that's here is everyone.
Thank you, Andrew.
What I'm looking at is inspiring, and you know.
Yeah, I was inspired by Mandy recently, Mandy White, who wrote Dancing on the Razor's Edge. And I've made an appointment with her to interview her on one of my podcasts, and she's agreed. And that her writing was extraordinarily inspiring on a different genre altogether. I haven't ventured successfully into that genre of memoir writing yet, but it's still on the back burner. I'm dabbling in those areas where I'm happiest and most creative in fantasy fiction.
Yeah.
Or safe. Is it safe?
It's safe.
Oh, there you go. There's a challenge for you, Carol.
Because I'm writing a memoir as well. I'm up to 1998 in my memoir. And
wow.
I
have written many chapters of a memoir, but only for me.
Why?
Well, there's some things there that I don't think it's the right time yet. So I'm keeping that on the back burner. And I do that with a lot of my writing. I'll look at it and think, it's time. Let's drag that one out from under the bed and get stuck into it. Maybe that'll happen with the memoirs later.
Yeah.
Maybe in my 80s.
Well, I'm going to be writing until I'm well over 100, so we've all got plenty of time, haven't we? Having said that, don't waste it. Don't waste your time.
No.
Thank you, everyone, so far for sharing. Anyone else got anything they want to add to this conversation or share or question or Justine?
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
I have to have arm surgery coming up, so I'm going to be typing with one hand. But does anyone have a good voice text app that they use?
I just use the one that's on Google Docs, and they call it voice typing. And it's starting, you know, I've been doing this for a few months because of blah, blah, and it's starting to understand me better, and I've got a lot less editing to do.
Okay.
So what I find useful, because my thoughts come out my fingers a lot more easily than they do my mouth. So I'm trying to retrain that circuit. So I need to write down a few points on the side so I can not get too far off track and keep being productive. But by golly gosh, it's moved things along. You know, it's not hard to do 800, 1,000 words voice to text at all. Okay, so the other thing I do is I'll do about 200 words, 250 words in a bit, because when I thought, oh, this is wonderful, and did, 1,000 odd words, it was hell editing it.
Okay, and we're getting some good suggestions in chat, Justine.
I have another one for you, Justine. It's not for the recording of your voice, but for the other side of it. When you have a recording and you want to transcribe that, there's a great little program called Descript.
Okay.
And that one allows you to edit audio as if it was text. So when your arm is ready and you're able to do more keyboarding, Descript. So it's just DESCRIPT.
Thank you.
There you go. So Otter is the one that Sue and Yair use that's an iPhone app.
I've got Otter. I haven't, I've used it a couple of times. I've got a 3 or 4 different ones, but I just wanted to know what everyone else was.
There's a lot of good, I think there are a lot of good ones now. It's a lot better than it used to be, that's for sure.
I think it's just a matter of practice, Justine, till it learns your voice.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Maybe start practicing in advance.
So I'm not so frustrated.
Yes.
Because I'm going to be
all
pretty
get good at
frustrated.
one finger typing.
Yeah, one hand. Well, yeah, I spent six weeks in plaster at the beginning of the year, and now they're going to break the bones again, Andrew. So yeah,
but it won't stop you.
And screws, and
But it will not stop you. That's for sure.
yeah, just got to modify. We adapt and we modify.
We do. Good on you. Now, Debbie, you want to share something?
I want to ask a question, actually.
Okay.
I would like people's opinion. So I'm writing a book about workplace injury, right? And
your sound, Deb.
Your sound just went.
Your sound sort of goes on and off, up and down. We can't really hear you at the moment.
Hang on. Can you hear me?
Just.
All right.
Maybe
if I get closer, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm writing a book about workplace injury. In my mind at the moment, I'm asking myself for the person. So I'm actually writing it so people that have been injured can see the process you have to go through, and also, like, you know, the outcome and how hard it is, but to give people some hope. But the thing that I'm struggling with is how much of myself, my life before, like leading up to the injury, would people want to know that? Like, you know, do people want to know, like, about my work ethic? Do people want to know about my life, you know, a bit as a child and things that happened in the family? Or should I just completely go about the injury? And that's really where I'm struggling. It's like, is there two books in this? Or is it intertwines because it's my life, but I'm not sure if someone picked it up and go, I don't want to know about this. I want to know about how to get past the injury. That's where I'm struggling.
Okay, well, let's open it up to this incredible forum. What do you think, team?
I think people would like to know what things were like before you got the injury, Debbie.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think your work ethic and stuff is important.
I'd definitely be putting the backstory in there.
Sorry?
I think it helps contextualise. That's where it's so important to understand the person that's giving the advice, rather than just, you end up just being an advisor. Whereas this is far more than that, stepping into their shoes.
Yep.
I've actually done it. The second chapter was about me. A really hard, really difficult one, because of events, and that's led me to do what I want to do. But I think with you, Debbie, I think my personal thing, I went through that. I am going through that. Partly, I think, because of Andrew, it's like it doesn't really matter right now anyway. Because I need to jump through all these other hoops anyway. So just jump through it and do it, and it doesn't matter, and just kind of reflect when you get to the editing stage. But I think it's important for people to contextualize and kind of understand the person that's writing the book more, you know, kind of show a bit of heart and a bit of soul into your writing, and then people will understand the advice that you're giving as if you're with them. So I think it's really important, personally. When I've read books and I hear that person's, how they tick, and I relate to them, then I want to hear what they've got to say, as opposed to just saying what they've got to say, because it's really tricky otherwise. That's how I see it.
That's awesome advice.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
Anyone else want to add to that? Karen, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, I do. It would be worthwhile having a read of Annie Pateman's book.
What's that one?
Annie Pateman. She's part of Andrew's group.
Okay.
The Strength Within.
I'll check that out. Thanks, Karen.
I'll see if we can find the, has anyone got the link for that? Can someone try and find the link for that?
Yeah, I'll get that.
And put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Good work,
Carol. I think everyone's given you perfect advice, Debbie. You guys rock. I don't really need to be here. But the key, and I think what Sue was saying, is you've got to connect with your reader. You've got to relate. You've got to be relatable, and your story is what people will connect to, not you telling them what they should do. People hate. Who likes being told what to do? Anyone? No one likes being told what to do, but we all want to be inspired. And the story, that's the inspiration. People will learn through the story, through the backstory. They'll start to learn and they'll identify things in themselves. They'll see potential where, wow, that, maybe I need to change that. That's where they'll learn through the story, not by you giving the 10 top tips to, get through a workplace injury. That's a manual. Ooh, duh.
Yeah.
There might be some people here that get excited reading a manual or a textbook. Who loves? Oh, so you're a doctor. You love reading textbooks.
I've read lots.
You love it, don't you? You love it.
Yeah, you could put it. Not quite sure, love, but yeah.
Yeah, love
it.
A good textbook.
If it's relevant, then yeah.
But for the majority of people, and I would say 90, 95% of people, you've got to connect with them, or you will lose them very quickly. Yeah. You want to say something, mate?
I want just to say a couple of things. First of all, in another lifetime, I'm working in a different field than that, and we always talk about the difference between data and information. And the difference is that information has a meaning. And I think when you try and connect to people or write something, if you're just writing steps, so that, like Andrew said, that's just data. That that's a how-to book or something. But if you put yourself in there, it actually, you bring authenticity and you bring meaning into it. And then it becomes information, which is a lot more than you think you're actually writing.
Yeah, absolutely, Debbie. And obviously it sounds like you've got lots of experience in this particular area, which is what people want. Need to hear people's experience and feelings around that.
That's right. Well, that's the authenticity part. But I also, Andrew, if I got another minute, I wanted to share with everyone something else that it may not be relevant to the type of books you're writing in that, but I read recently something about writing, and it said that the purpose of the first sentence is to make the reader read the second one. And I thought it's a fantastic advice, because it's basically like clickbait or something or whatever it is. But if you get somebody curious enough so they continue to read the second sentence, you got them. And I thought it's such a beautiful way of saying it.
That's great. I'm going to use that one.
Yeah. It's so clever, isn't it?
Well, if you think about a book, like you think about someone who, first thing you got to do is got to get them with your title and your cover, right? They'll pick it up and go, oh, okay, the title's got my attention. Then they'll look at the subtitle. Oh, that's got it. Then they'll turn the book around and read the back cover. Your goal is to get people from the front cover to the back cover to the introduction to the checkout. Yeah. And then from the intro to the first chapter, it's exactly what you said. And at any point where, and this is putting pressure, it does put a bit of pressure on us as writers and authors, because you don't want someone to read the first chapter and put it down and not get back to it, So I think that's a really valuable point, mate. Thank you.
To follow that up, and everyone else, I use Double Writer for my writing. And one of the things that it does for you every time you open it up is it gives you a little quote. And it just appears there for a few seconds and then it goes away. And quite often it'll be a quote like the one that you've just given us that makes you stop and think about why you're writing. I was just going there to find out if I could just grab one. I can't think one now off the top of my head, but it's a nice little enticement for me to use Double Writer for that reason.
Sure.
Well, speaking of quotes, I heard one today. I was listening to it, and this is relevant. This is relevant in everything, but certainly for writers. It said, don't trust an emotion when you're not in motion. Do you know how when you're not writing, when you've had a few days off and all of a sudden you start doubting yourself, you start beating yourself up, you start getting frustrated. And we often, when we're not doing something, the emotion is, don't trust that emotion. Get in motion. And then you trust the emotion.
Yeah.
So I like that quote. Don't trust an emotion when you're not in motion.
Yeah, clever.
Good one. Well, look, we've got a few minutes to go. So is there anyone that would like to, last couple of minutes, anyone want to share or ask or any final comments? Carol.
Just a couple of things. I've just started, as I mentioned before, my next book, because this is day one of the NaNoWriMo, the National Novel Writing Month. And I'm a big fan of that kind of challenge where you've got 30 days to reach 50,000 words, and it pushes me to get cracking. And I seem to be able to do that quite easily now, write 1,500 to 1,700 words in a couple of hours. So I'm going to go with that again. And the second thing was a question for you, Andrew.
Yes.
Because it's about the Global Transformation Festival. I
Yes.
saw your name down there.
Yes.
Maybe you'd like to mention what you're doing.
Well, thank you, Carol. The Global Transformation Challenge is an event. To be honest, I don't know a lot about it, but I was contacted and I said, yeah, because I'm talking about Tears of Joy. I think the way it works is it's there's a panel of people. I think there's 4 or 5 people in one time slot, and each speak for about 10, 15 minutes, and then it's Q&A. I'll be talking Friday morning.
Friday afternoon, surely.
No, it's Friday morning.
Oh, you changed, have you? Mine is in the 12 noon to 2 p.m. time slot.
No, mine's in the 10 a.m. to
okay.
time slot on Friday, this Friday.
All right, I'll be sure to pop in then for that one. So I've also been asked to present and will be in the 12 noon one, talking about genealogy, of course. And that's my genre of passion. So that's something that people might like to go and have a look at. It's just under the phrase Global Transformation Festival.
I'll find it.
Okay.
I can.
And I'm just thinking I might have put your name into one of the people who was organising it.
You might have, actually, because they contacted me. So thank you. GFT, I think this is it. Is that it? I don't know.
Let me go look.
Is it the Global Transformation Festival Australasia? Is that the one?
Yep.
GTF Australia. Does that sound right?
Yep. Sounds right.
Okay. Well, I'll just put that in the chat. There we go. Oh, sorry. Copy.
So you must be on track 3, is it? No.
Oh, look, to be honest, I don't know.
There's a
Too early. It's too early. Friday's a long way away.
It is. It is.
He'll figure it out.
Exactly. Okay, there's the link there. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Marcia, you're staying, right? Don't go anywhere, okay? Because we're talking now. But everyone else, wonderful to see you. Thank everyone for sharing, and well done on everything you're doing. You're brilliant, all of you. You're amazing. The next one will be, because obviously I do 2 a month, but the next Monday one will be on the 6th of December. Okay, so we'll do one at the start of December. Now, Sue and Marcia, is this too early? 7 a.m. Is that okay for you guys? I can make it half an hour later. Otherwise, so I'll make it 7:30. Is that better? A little bit better?
Yes, in a word.
Okay, all right. Because I've just got to be a little bit careful, timing, because it gets, often we get people from New Zealand and they're 2 hours. They're 2 hours ahead of us, which means it would start to get, maybe a bit late. So, all right. So thanks, everyone. Great to see you all. Obviously, I'll talk to most of you between now and then anyway, but you're doing great. So
thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew.
Welcome.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.